everyone. How will life be affected after the referendum? I think definitely life is become crazier and crazier. And sometimes you feel like you're the only sane person left in the world. But while we're there, I think I said it's cautious. And yeah, I don't really have the words for this in terms of the EU referendum. But going on to my third speech. Boy, you should really prepare for this speech. So I want to take the opportunity today. So, Mrs. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I want to take the opportunity today to walk you through my thought process when I travel, which is the topic today. So, you could be forgiven for thinking that is really quite simple. You pick a destination, you pick a date, you go online, find the cheapest deal, check out. Done. But very, for someone like me, and not just me, but people as well who have very young children, or who have like a lot of things they have to think about, it's not that straightforward. Paying for your holiday is the very last thing you do. There are 3 important steps which you have to go through first, and I will outline each one of them. The first one, and the biggest one, is transport. You have to decide how you're going to get there, which airport you're going to leave from, which airport you're going to reach, and which airline you're going to use. All 3 of them. Because you've got to choose, well, if you're going to depart from Stansted, or Heathrow, or Gatwick, or Luton, how do you get there? Do you have accessible lines? Do you have like a transport to get there? When you choose your airline, which airline do you choose? Usually the bigger ones will have a better service air staff, or they'll have more place in the plane to store your wheelchair or to store your pushchair, so you get more assistance. But also you got to think about your destination airport. Where are you going to land? Are you going to land in the middle of nowhere with bad transport links into the city? Or are you going to land somewhere with good connections? So once you've grappled with all those 3 concepts of how you're going to get there, that's just a start. Because once you get to the destination, then you've got to do research in terms of how do you get from the airport to the city, and how do you travel within the city while you're there. And that's where great tools like the internet come up. And you spend your days, you just spend days searching online using Google Maps, Street View, Satellite View. You pop yourself down the Street View, look at the roads. Is my mortal enemy somewhere? Are there cobblestones on the way from A to B? Are there steps? Are there no steps? And then once you've gauged all that, that then takes you to point number 2, which is where are you going to visit and where are you going to stay? So you got to pick out which places you want to go and see first. If you're going to Paris, are you going to stick to the main sites? In which case, you really want to keep away from the east or the north of Paris, because they're nowhere near where you want to be day to day. Or if you go to Italy, are you going to be somewhere near Rome, somewhere near the Vatican, or the Bernini fountains? Because you want to be close there. And you got to think about how you travel from your hotel to those destination attractions. You also got to think about the destination itself. If it's a well-known museum, you know you'll have access, you know you have the facilities, and it's fine. And you have the website for them as well, you can double check it. But the odd thing as well is when you have these big old museums, they always seem to have those hidden corridors and those hidden access points. Like for example, when I went to Paris a few months ago and you went to the Louvre, I can't go down the pyramid way with the big glass pyramid in the middle. You have to go around to the north entrance, the carousel entrance, where the lift is. And those are little bits of information which you know you expect when you travel, which is why you always do your research. And then obviously, depending on where you're going to see and where you're going to go, that's when you actually start looking at hotels. Which are the hotels nearby, and which ones are the accessible ones, and stuff like that. And that takes us on to the third point, obviously, which is the one that everyone thinks about, and it's the cost. What's your budget? And my advice is, when you've got to take into account a lot of places, a lot of things like choosing main hub airports because they have the best facilities, or the better known airports, airlines, or if you're going to choose like hotels which are in the city or in the center of the city or close to attractions, that means you have to be prepared to pay for it. You're not going to really travel on a budget. You're going to travel on, once you have picked up your hotels and your destinations and all that, that's when you actually start looking which deals are available. And then, once you found it, that's when you do your checkout and you pay for it, the last step. So all these steps are day-to-day things you think about when you travel. And quite recently, I'm planning a trip to Italy for a friend's wedding. So this is why all of these facts are on my mind, which is why I thought I'd share it with you today. The thought process for traveling when you have 100 things on your mind. And to end my speech today, I would like to say that there's a good quote which is very apt when you're traveling. To plan to fail is to fail to plan. No, sorry, to fail to plan is to plan to fail. Thank you very much.